morning, dear students. We are going to discuss sole of the foot today. So now when you just look at the sole, you see the skin is very thick. It doesn't have any hair and we do not even have pigments as we see the skin of other parts of our body. It has lot of sweat glands and it is firmly bound down to the underlying deep fascia by numerous fibrous bands. It shows few flexure creases at the sides of skin movement. The subcutaneous tissue contains lot of fat, especially in the heel region. It is extremely sensitive to touch due to high concentration of nerve endings. This makes the sole sensitive to surfaces that are walked on. Now let us see the cutaneous nerve supply. The medial side of the heel is supplied by the medial calcaneal branch of tibial nerve. Medial two-thirds of the sole like branches from medial plantar nerve, which is shown in sky blue color over here. Lateral one-third of the sole is supplied by the branches from lateral plantar nerve. Along the medial border, we have saphenous nerve, and along the lateral border, we have sural nerve. Now, the deep fascia, once you just start doing dissection, once you cut the skin, just below the skin, we will come across the deep fascia, which lies beneath the subcutaneous tissue and surrounds the intrinsic foot muscles. It is much thicker in the central part and thinner where it covers the intrinsic muscles. This is actually plantar aponeurosis. Similarly, when you just homologate it with the palm, in the palm just below the skin, we have seen palmar aponeurosis. Similarly, in the sole of the foot, once you remove the skin, we will see plantar aponeurosis. There also, when I was discussing, I told you the difference between palmar aponeurosis and plantar aponeurosis. We have 4 slips in palmar aponeurosis, which will allow the free movement of thumb, whereas in case of plantar aponeurosis, we have 5 slips. 1 slip is going to the great toe. That's the reason the great toe or big toe is not as mobile as you see with the like thumb or pollex. Okay. So when you just look at this plantar aponeurosis, it is thicker in the central part and thinner where it is towards the margins. Okay, and it gives origin to the muscles of the first layer of the sole. Okay. So it is triangular. It protects the underlying blood vessels and nerves. Apex is attached to the medial and lateral tubercles of calcaneum. Base is dividing into 5 slips, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, each slip further divides into superficial and deep bands. So superficial band of skin, superficial band is going and merging with the skin, whereas deep band, it passes to the root of the toes where it divides into 2, diverging along the flexor tendons and fusing with fibrous flexor sheaths and deep transverse ligaments, what we see in the digits. The medial border and lateral border are actually thick and they are continuous with thinner deep fascia covering the adductors of big toe and adductors of little toe. Each from each of these borders, you will see the fibrous septa pass superiorly into the sole and take part in the formation of facial spaces of the sole. Now, the function of this plantar aponeurosis, it gives attachment to the overlying skin. It protects the underlying vessels and nerves and tendons and their synovial sheaths. It also assists in maintaining the arches of foot. Now, coming to the muscles of sole, the sole contains both extrinsic and intrinsic muscles. These muscles help in flexion, extension, abduction, and adduction of toes. They enable the toes to lift and curl. They support the arches of foot. They are all supplied by branches of tibial nerve and they are supplied by the branches of posterior tibial artery and arranged in 4 layers. Now the muscles of first layer of sole, we have 3 muscles: flexor digitorum brevis, abductor hallucis, and abductor digiti minimi. So flexor digitorum brevis, it's an important muscle. It itself can come as a 3 marks or 5 marks question. Listen carefully. This middle muscle, whatever you are finding, is the flexor digitorum brevis. It is labeled here. So the origin is, it is coming medial tubercle of the calcaneum. It also takes its origin from plantar aponeurosis, intermuscular septa. Insertion, so it is actually dividing into 4 slips as you can see, and it is getting inserted into the middle phalanx from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th toes. Muscle ends in 4 tendons. Okay. Okay, and opposite to the proximal phalanx you are finding, and also the distal phalanx. Each tendon divides into two slips. You can see here. This is tendon. You can see it is dividing into two slips. Okay, and finally it is getting inserted into the base of the distal phalanx. Okay, second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, the terminal phalanges base is receiving the insertion of this muscle. Okay, nerve supply, medial plantar nerve, and flexion. Action is flexion of the toes at the metatarsophalangeal joints and interphalangeal joints. Okay, then we have abductor hallucis. So abductor hallucis is the second muscle of the first layer of the sole, which is arising from the medial tubercle of the calcaneum, flexor retinaculum, and also intermuscular septa. Insertion is medial side of the proximal phalanx of the first toe, and tendon of the abductor hallucis fuses with the tendon of flexor hallucis brevis. It is supplied by medial plantar nerve, and it helps, as the name implies, abduction of big toe or great toe. Now we have abductor digiti minimi, which is seen towards the little toe. So it is coming from the calcaneus and also the flexor retinaculum and intermuscular septa. So it is getting inserted on the lateral side of the proximal phalanx of the fifth toe. This fuses with the tendon of flexor digiti minimi brevis inserted into the lateral side of the proximal phalanx of the fifth toe. Supplied by medial plantar nerve and abductor of the lateral toe, like the little toe. Now the muscles of the second layer, we have four muscles: flexor digitorum longus, flexor digitorum accessorius, lumbricals, and flexor hallucis longus. Flexor digitorum longus we have studied in the muscles of the posterior compartment of leg also. Origin you can see on the posterior surface of the tibia below the soleal line. Insertion, distal phalanx from second to fifth toe. Digitorum itself will indicate like it is splitting into four tendons. Nerve supply is, it is supplied by tibial nerve and it helps in the plantar flexion of the ankle, second to fifth toe. Then flexor digitorum accessorius. So you are finding, see, this is the flexor digitorum accessorius muscle, which is going and getting inserted into flexor digitorum longus muscle. So origin, it is taking its medial head is coming from calcaneum, lateral also comes from the calcaneum. You can see like insertion is distal phalanx from the second to fifth toe. Muscle fibers get inserted to the lateral side of this muscle, flexor digitorum longus. Nerve supply is lateral plantar nerve, and action is it is helping in the plantar flexion of ankle of second to fifth toe. Then we have lumbricals. So lumbricals are like earthworm-like muscles which are arising between the tendons of the flexor digitorum longus. First, this is the first lumbrical which is coming from the medial side of the tendon of the first digit, like first you are finding, then first time, second two. The second lumbricals, this is the second one, adjacent side of the tendon of first and second tendons of the flexor digitorum longus. This is the third one. So adjacent sides of the tendon of the second and third tendons of the flexor digitorum longus, and fourth is adjacent sides of the tendon of third and fourth flexor digitorum longus tendons. Okay, so like that you are finding, and they are actually getting inserted into metatarsophalangeal joints of the lateral four toes dorsally for the insertion of extensor expansion. So first lumbrical is supplied by medial plantar nerve. Second, third, fourth lumbricals are supplied by lateral plantar nerve. Extension of interphalangeal joint is the function, and toes doesn't buckle while walking because of the presence of lumbricals. Then we have next muscle is flexor hallucis longus, okay, which is coming from the posterior aspect of the lower 3/4 of the posterior surface of the fibula, and insertion is distal phalanx of the first toe. Nerve supply is tibial nerve, and this muscle helps in plantar flexion of big toe, and it maintains the medial longitudinal arch. Third layer muscles are flexor hallucis brevis, adductor hallucis, and flexor digiti minimi brevis. So flexor hallucis is always, remember, it is big toe. It arises by a Y-shaped tendon. So this is the medial limb, which is the direct continuation with tibialis posterior. Lateral limb is coming from cuboid bone. Insertion is Yeah, like proximal phalanx of this big toe or great toe muscle divides into medial and lateral part. Each tendon is getting inserted into the corresponding side of the proximal phalanx of the big toe. Nerve supply is medial plantar nerve and it is helping in the flexion of the proximal phalanx of the great toe. GT is great toe, or we can also use the word big toe. PP is the proximal phalanx. Okay, then next muscle we have is adductor hallucis. So this adductor hallucis, it has two heads. It has one oblique head and then it has transverse head. Oblique head is coming from second and third metatarsal bones and also sheath of peroneus longus. Transverse head comes from long, uh, like long plantar ligaments at metatarsophalangeal joints and third, fourth, fifth joints and deep metatarsal ligaments. So insertion lateral side of the proximal phalanx of great toe. So common with lateral tendon of flexor hallucis brevis. Nerve supply. So deep lateral plantar nerve and action is adduction of great toe. Then we have flexor digiti minimi brevis, which is coming from the fifth metatarsal bone and tendon of peroneus longus. Insertion is lateral side of the proximal phalanx of the lateral toe. And nerve supply is superficial lateral plantar nerve and helps in the flexion of the proximal phalanx of little toe. Last layer, we have fourth layer, dorsal interossea, we have plantar interossea, tibialis posterior and peroneus longus. So dorsal interossea, all metatarsal bones, adjacent sides and insertion is proximal phalanx of the second to fifth toe. First is going on the medial side of the proximal phalanx of second toe. Second is going to the lateral side of the proximal phalanx of third toe. Third is going to the lateral side of the proximal phalanx of fourth toe and fourth one is going on the lateral side of the proximal phalanx of fifth toe. Nerve supply, it is helping in the actually lateral plantar nerve and it helps in adduction. Now plantar interossea, so you will see it is like we have third, fourth, fifth metatarsal bones on the medial side, origin, proximal phalanges, insertion like third, fourth and fifth proximal phalanges. Okay, so lateral plantar nerve is the nerve supply and it helps in the plantar adduction. So tibialis posterior. So origin is this muscle you also study when you do in the posterior compartment of the leg. So we have tibialis posterior. So tibia, the posterior surface below the soleal line and also posterior surface of fibula. Insertion is tuberosity of navicular bone. Okay, and tarsal bone, all tarsals it goes except to talus. So insertion is extending to second, third and fourth metatarsals at base. And nerve supply is tibial nerve, action, plantar flexion at ankle. So it helps in inversion of foot at subtalar joint and maintains the medial longitudinal arch. So tibialis posterior tendon, it goes like this behind the medial malleolus, beneath the flexor retinaculum, runs downwards and forwards above the sustentaculum talae, inserted mainly to the tuberosity of navicular. Small tendinous slip passes to cuboid and cuneiforms and bases of second, third, and fourth metatarsals. Tendons are surrounded by synovial sheath. So peroneus longus, we have actually studied in the lateral compartment of the leg. Origin is the head of the fibula and lateral surface of the shaft of the medial one-third of the fibula. Insertion is medial cuneiform. Okay, and also first insertion is first metatarsal bone. Nerve supply superior superficial peroneal nerve. Action is eversion of foot and maintains the lateral longitudinal transverse arches. Okay, peroneus longus tendon. So this tendon is entering into the sole behind the lateral malleolus. This one runs obliquely across the sole to be inserted into the base of the first metatarsal bone and adjacent part of the medial cuneiform. Tendon grooves the inferior surface of cuboid where it is held in position by long plantar ligaments and it is surrounded by synovial sheath. Okay, so fibrous flexor sheaths we find in the actually toes. So the inferior surface of each toe is provided with strong fibrous sheaths which become across while doing dissection, which is attached to the sides of the phalanges. Their proximal ends receive the deeper parts of the slips of plantar of the neurosis. Distal ends are like closed and are attached to the bases of distal phalanges. These are the fibrous flexor sheaths. Okay, so this whole thing is the fibrous sheath, you can see. So together with the inferior surface of the phalanges and interphalangeal joints, they form a tunnel in which you are finding long flexor tendons are passing. Okay, so that is we have. So that is all about the muscles of sole. Thank you.